When taking a look at some of the highest grossing movies of all time, you begin to see sort of a pattern. Besides the fact that there's a shitty movie at the number 1 spot, 7 of the 10 highest grossing films of all time are action films, and that's because people like action. The tension, skill, choreography, it's human nature to be entertained. Look all the way back to 70 AD with the Colosseum, where fuckers would engage in hand-to-hand combat for entertainment. However, sometimes fights just fall flat and aren't very entertaining, leading me to ask the question, what makes a good fight scene? For this video, I'd like to use a fight from Season 3, Episode 4 of My Hero Academia, in which Deku, a 15-year-old hero in training, is attempting to protect a young boy named Koda from a villain who's trying to kill him. So back to the question, what makes a good fight scene? The thing is, I think that this question doesn't just have one answer. I believe that it takes many pieces to make a good fight scene. I believe that the most important piece of a fight scene is stakes and tension. I think that these two pieces go hand in hand, as stakes are the people or goals that are at risk in a fight, while tension is the feeling that is created as a result of the stakes. A good fight scene needs to clearly establish what is at stake in the fight in order to understand what both sides are fighting for and create the necessary tension for the entertainment of the fight. Without stakes, you just have mindless action without any tension or risk, and this causes the audience to be disinterested. For this episode, the stakes are clearly established from the beginning of the scene, being that Deku needs to rescue Koda from being Loki. Furthermore, as soon as the scene starts, Deku learns how much of a beta he is compared to his alpha Chad opponent, as none of his attacks are effective in any way. This one-sidedness of the fight further creates tension and stakes, as Deku is now trying to protect himself and Koda from being brolied. This is reinforced by the villain's taunts throughout the fight.
I can't help but laugh at you, kid! You really think you're a hero, don't you?
Similarly to tensions and stakes, one of the most important parts of a fight scene is intentions. Although it may seem like a simple thought, fight scenes need to have clear, established intentions in order to captivate the audience. In this fight, Deku's intentions are clear and noble, making it clear that he is the hero and protagonist of the story. Muscular, however, is different from most antagonists in the sense that he doesn't achieve anything from killing Deku and Koda. This subverts expectations while also making him far more intimidating, as it is now clear he is just a killing machine and there will be no reasoning for Deku. He must fight for his and Koda's life, which leads me to the next section of the video. Whether or not the visuals of a fight are vital to making a good fight scene is truly subjective. Despite the fact that the easiest way to attract an audience is by having interesting and intriguing visuals, using visuals correctly can take a fight scene to the next level. Sadly, many movies and TV shows will stop here, such as the big CGI mess of Avengers Endgame. Even as a huge Dragon Ball fan, I have to admit that a big part of the show is just a bunch of screaming, punching, and shooting lasers. However, in this fight between Deku and Muscular, the visuals are used in more subtle and detailed ways. This fight has Deku only throwing a few punches, with the animators making sure to show the intensity, struggle, and pain behind each of them. The thing is, Deku is only able to use 5% of his power without hurting himself. As to attack using 5%, he learns that Muscular is just far too powerful to be affected, shown by the quivering in his arm as Deku attempts to do any sort of damage before he is tossed aside. After learning about how Muscular is responsible for killing Koda's parents, showing no remorse, as well as blaming Koda for their deaths, Deku totally snaps. He decides that in order to be fully sure that Muscular is taken care of and that Koda is safe, he's gotta whip out that BDE.
With that puny quirk of yours again?
It's not a matter of whether or not I can do it! A hero's job is to risk his life, to turn his promises into a reality!
What?
One for all! 100%!
Wait, there's something different about him.
Smash!
As a result of using his full power, Deku's arm is completely shattered. However, it turns out that Muscular wasn't even trying before, getting up as if Deku's full power was nothing. Muscular completely turns up the juice, fighting faster and harder than before. When Deku and Koda are cornered, Deku takes the time to reflect on himself and what he needs to do.
I can just get back to camp. Mr. Aizawa should be there. Then he can erase this guy's quirk. Yeah, that's it. I need to get him to chase after me and Koda. But I'm so tired from the training today. It won't work. If I turn my back on this guy, I'm done for. I have no choice but to fight him right here, right now. I have to remember where I started, how far I've come. I'll stand my ground, and I'll make sure Koda is safe!
This part of the fight acts as the intro to the climax, as we realize that Deku is preparing to put his life on the line to protect Koda. This part of the fight truly shows the attention to detail that the animators put in, seen by the fact that they focused on showing how tired and broken Deku is at this point in the fight. They show his exhaustion through his heavy breathing, the damage he has taken from Muscular by the blood dripping down his face, and lastly, what he's been putting himself through by fighting, shown by his torn, bleeding, and shattered arm. This attention to detail truly supports the idea of Deku being a true hero, which the audience truly gets to see next. The climax of a fight is where all of the pieces that I've talked about in this video come together. It's where the stakes are reinforced, the tension is at its peak, the intentions of the hero and villain are clearest, and the visuals become better than ever. For this episode of My Hero Academia, here's how it goes.
Stay back, Koda. And then, when it's time, run as fast as you can back to camp.
You're attacking him again? You can't do that! Let's just go! Come on! Your punch didn't hurt him earlier, remember? Besides, both your arms are busted up!
It's going to be fine.
Deku is barely able to stand, but still has the courage to tell Koda to run away as he tries to hold Muscular back. The animators decided to make the choice to show Deku from behind, as Deku does not want to show Koda how afraid he is. And then...
One for all! 100%!
I'm coming for you!
Detroit!
As Muscular prepares to charge, Deku is so low on options that he must once again use 100% of his power, which will further damage his already shattered arm. Besides the fact that he is right-handed, his left arm looks like this after trying to block a hit from Muscular, so a punch from his left arm wouldn't do any good. As Muscular stands ready to charge, Deku grits his teeth, attempting to smile as he fights, just like his idol and mentor, All Might. Muscular and Deku charge at each other, and tears begin to roll down Deku's face as he fears he is about to die.
What's wrong? That was even weaker than before!
Okay. It'll all be okay! I will not let him get past me! Koda, run! Go now!
Still looking after him? Oh man! You're something else, aren't you?
Shut up, damn it!
Why?
Show me your blood!
A real hero will always find a way for justice to be served!
Please forgive me, Mom. I tried my best. I'm sorry. Oh, my!
I'm gonna crush you!
As I said before, the climax of a fight is where all of the pieces of a fight come together at their highest. The stakes are reinforced as we see just how outclassed Deku is, shown by how Muscular is crushing him into the ground. The tension peaks as Muscular taunts Deku. Their intentions become crystal clear, with Deku telling Koda to run and trying to convince him that everything is okay, while Muscular's murderous intentions reach their peak. Lastly, the climax of this fight contains the most attention to detail and visual storytelling of this episode. From Deku being literally overpowered by Muscular completely towering over him and pushing him into the ground, to Deku's arm turning an even darker color and bleeding as his body fails to maintain the power he's trying to output, to Deku accepting the fact that he's gonna die, hearing the words of All Might's encouragements and praying to his mother for forgiveness. Deku closes his eyes, ready to die when... The payoff of a fight is a simple piece to understand. It's the final push, the moment the protagonist lets loose, the final blow, or in this case, all of the above. The screen fades to black after Deku accepts his death, and...
Koda.
Hold on there, Kay. I'll kill you after I'm done with...
Crap, I was distracted!
I won't let you hurt Koda!
Damn it! How are you getting stronger?
You won't lay a hand on him! Delaware! Detroit!
Man, What a payoff! The combination of Koda's distraction, as well as Muscular's threat towards Koda, were enough of a motivation for Deku to rise once again, pushing Muscular off of him and charging up another punch. He throws his final blow, finally defeating Muscular. Due to the fact that Koda is young and had lost his parents to Muscular in the past, he has always struggled with the idea of heroism and villainy. To Koda, they were just fighting and kill each other for no reason, but as he witnesses Deku put his life and body on the line just to save him, he finally realizes what it means to be a hero, accepting Deku as a true hero. The scene ends with shots of Deku breathing heavily, blood dripping down his face, and then a final freeze frame of Deku standing broken and exhausted. There's something about human nature, about watching a well-crafted fight, and I believe that this episode of My Hero Academia acts as a perfect example to be used for this video, due to its masterful use of each of the pieces needed to make a good fight scene. A fight doesn't need to be very complex to entertain a general audience. Some flashy visuals and fan service, like in many of the shitty Marvel movies, is all you really need to make an entertaining fight. However, if you wish to have an iconic or meaningful fight, it is important to focus on many of the pieces that create a good fight scene.